text is sort of palimpsestic, where I was trying to write about process and the thoughts behind what the language itself is, that is the poem. So Kathy's going to read the poem, and I'm going to read the thoughts. And, the one-off. Still in way of dream. What held me so close was what was not subdued, the raw edge of her, and perhaps it was more evident at times, quieter, my grandmany grateful, and so strangely promenading on doorway of dress extravagant and what new, arm in arm with your daughter, also my grandmother, a true sage, and I feeling somewhat histrionic, as was the young daughter and daughter, thus so proudly promenading, toward I, underground, quietly museumed on the lower edge, watching you, descending from above, what is next, many egg and space, female lines before us, hatch and hatch again, what we may have hoped would impart in me work double-fold.
Syncretism of life,
how does
and
one
its faltering way,
write
there is no
unpoetically,
evil
yet
only,
still heart-achingly and acceptably
in
poetic.
its interpretation.
Stella, aged 2, had already informed me, her mother, that she was not a poet, but a painter, she who shares her birthday and our affiliable space,
who had collected
the creator's scheme, the deeper
depression,
our story sees angels
and
in
war,
the night sky, and here's
war for me to carry, design of whimsy,
Barbara flying, and talks of your daughter, how writing it out, and I take a chance by writing what is real.
Your wild and rude,
though atypically tamped down, steeped away, somewhat singed, but a young mother must be directed to write it, and hear the voice that is resonant to her, that is sort of undervoice, that voice that is here, that any sort of judgmental vibes, transcript less.
Now rest in me with what smeared eyeliner
perhaps
and
what your daughter said was true. Perhaps you
sure,
did
I
have
read the words of the print back to you.
The constant ruminations of thought, the inability to sleep, as well as other things which other normal people would define as strange and unusual.
Still new, to your dark
eyelids ever noticed. This, perhaps,
fine aperture in any
have
age
to recognize some faults of my own, bitter to the end, your loss of a young daughter, surely, and lack of any other support in any other way of career.
Era so kept and still willing to
and
nurture my young proclivity.
The young proclivity, and instead
what
of
understood
sort of privilege and distractions, your father painted as well. He traveled through Europe at one point painting copies of the masters. He was a jeweler by trade. He let you go to an art class once at RISD. You paid for it with the money you earned from watching the twins. And from other stuff you working in the local neighborhood. You wanted so much to be a painter, all in your journals, the journals you let me read as a young girl visited.
Nearly died of this cutting, my many-faced, lost and brilliant mother. Faith must heal, consort.
Or making other compromises. You always
of the disastrous we stand here.
Speak of basically what was going on and what existed.
Together, untethered, faith invariable, as hunger paints still fresh.
Dreaming misfortunes of life, perhaps.
This scene a moment of
I was attempting to get away from. I was 12 then. The first year I went in, I had an ulcer. It wasn't treated. When I first arrived,
the high of the intuit and truth of one's
my grandma
divided.
talked to my aunt one night, and she said,
must together know this we of
the
necessity.
situation would get worse, and finally 4 years later there would be some kind of resolution of sorts. That when the sick grandmother was finally taken away to an institution.
And what?
But what this was, and her recognition of the situation has
know what?
I think sometimes it does take several generations to find the true point of what is dead. It has died, a 7-year-old girl dead in coffin glass over top of coffin. Mother, go look at her. Dead in coffin, don't move, don't breathe. Coffin in a box. When mother is home at night, she sit in armchair, prayer book on lap. She look at lamplight beside her ring, and must mist around light. In 3 hangers she hears portraits of what they told her, of the dew-ridden grasses, of what the breath of the red bird. Where is she? Electricity she hears comes outside the walls next to her. The girl in the coffin breathing like a moving picture is at a movie house. She cannot take her
harbor this
out of
embroidered hour.
She cannot find the girl lying beneath
in
the coffin. Like a moving picture is at still
which is tattered and most.
Which I dreamt you many, grand many, by sea and far from it, the island I long to embrace. Many, many times over lapsins a weary, lapsins a weary, lapsins a weary. My heart is broken
in this high line in this
not lost
hour,
but I've
yellow
lost
light.
you. I have also again somehow lost myself in this strange trajectory, lapsing my
that which always led her
over this sea, strange, daunting, elliptical, still in way of dream, still
from what has long been broken, unstoppable,
what
knowing
what above from
only as an intuit, and then what leads
lower than a museum, non quietly underground, I toward, I froward, promenading proudly, so thus in stage triumph,
From the window,
mother friend,
from
my
New
also
England,
young daughter,
as mountains
with
so
arm
direct.
in arm, twice birth, extravagantly dressed, in the door wary on thee, quieter times at evident,
blue cold and
more,
forever in
it
ice.
was perhaps,
So,
no, her edge of not subdued was what
immense even
not
sadness
held
can be
me
wiped
still in
away,
my
erase
dream,
the desert
garb
apart.
like poetic any less transcript or vibe judgmental, sort out there is voice, a
Name
voice
for her,
under,
it
a
is
voice
like
under, resonant is that but voice, she hears it out, right out, to be directed by the new young mother, says Alice, simply but where, somewhat away, she stored it down, she tempts it, she tempts it out.
Others, and
what writing of this risk is chance taken. I would impart
always
daughter,
without her
it out
own.
here, write it out here, daughter. She hears angels singing, night sky was previous, next before my belly
identity,
before
and if for
she
only a
lay,
moment,
she
what
starlight,
was
she
the
starlight,
instant,
starshine, she waited in the heavens, looking
eternal,
for me
that
until
she
she
was
found
the
me.
peak
She
of
said,
it?
she came to me. She would impart in me what worked doublefold. Oh, Irene, how does one write?
Unstoppable and unapologetic, and always without
yet beautifully
words
poetic
to
still. Stella, do impact
describe it, this version of
singing.
selfhood.
While she had already informed me she was not a poet, but a painter. She oscillates between
Consider
two
this,
professions
it's made of matter,
frequently.
or Christ.
Here,
This
on
is
writing
what
your
she
daughter,
told.
write your daughter yourself, write yourself out of this. Of all the strange, somewhat ambivalent trappings.
Her, she picked up the brush, she picked.
She hears the soft voice singing, she shares your birthday, filial space holder of the greater scheme
Up
of
the
things.
paint, the dough, the pen, the
interesting,
scrap of rag,
the flying, the talking, the daughter, writing it out here, write it out here, palimpsestic, finally,
and grew only
taken
to be
away, mother, finally taken away, ground sick. No, when sorts of resolution would of any kind happen,
the knot which twisted
or
itself into
to
her mouth is the
situation,
evidence
poor
of
dear, her anything would have been better than this. But since one night she says, poor dear,
battle her form is
why
peace as
doesn't anyone
meaning,
do anything
orphan
for her?
carry this,
Insomniac
what let her to
stray
sleep
mother
in the park,
speaking here,
near the
and held her, validating what it was not to be spoken, basically
Art
the goings
Institute
on.
steps,
Read as
portfolio
young girl,
clasped
read
in her arms
aloud,
for
read
rest,
info,
her
read lots, life and going, ruminating false stars. I mean starts,
what is
perseverating
this?
on hope.
Is it died a
Continual
7-year-old girl then in
compromised
coffin
order
glass over top
of
of
being
coffin?
out of any stocking, basically making visits, a continued going, the journals were always there, the journals you still instilled with me, outlet. All this is,
Mother,
and
go to
surely,
look at her
surely
dead in
last
coffin.
is
Don't
aware,
move, don't
perhaps
breathe.
what your
Coffin
daughter
a box.
said was
When mother
perhaps
is
a
home at
thought,
night,
the
she
ability
sit
to
in
sleep as well as other
armchair,
things,
prayer book
while
on lap.
people,
She look at
people,
lamps, light
which
beside
as usual,
her ring and
strange,
mist around
manic,
lamp.
I
In
never
thin
noticed
bangers
this,
she
perhaps.
hear portraits, told her of what the
Recognized some of
dew-ridden
what
grasses
was my
had,
own then,
of what the
to
breath
the
of
end.
the red bird had. Where is
Way
she?
of career,
Electricity.
as I stated earlier,
She
did
here come up
stop painting
outside
for
while
the
next
most
to her
part,
girl in
instead
coffin breathing,
collected other
like
sort
a
of
moving
perfect
picture is at a
instructions,
moving
traveled
house.
through, and
She
again,
cannot
anew,
take her out of a moving
she
picture,
speaks,
a breathing
she
girl.
speaks to me, underneath the under voice, embrace her, in the lap weary, lapse in the weary, island, she, is so far from me, and many you dreamt, many
No
you
one ever
dreamt,
knew
my
where she
darling.
painted another
What
version.
had
What led
institution
her
breathing,
then?
picture
The valley
as she
within
outlet
valley.
her cannot be, oh thee, house moved at is picture in, moving, and hurt to next
Whereas
wall,
she had
outside
finally
to come up
saved
here
enough to go,
electricity.
then 16,
Where
and
is she,
so
the
damn
red
near
bird, the
impossible.
breath of what the grasses had ridden, the dew of her portraits, and most importantly the portrait she hears. She
Get
hears
off the island,
hangers,
Saturday,
lamped around
Providence,
this
sure,
night,
drawing classes,
coffin dead,
1916,
her
the sun so
goat
hot,
mother,
then
coffin top,
felt good on
Shirley in the
your
parlor
cheeks.
for a week, poor little Shirley, dead, a 3-year-old little girl again. But this is being the final time in wayward 3 generations later, scratch at the first story. The truth, as only ever as it was. Thanks.